They call them fun boys and say we need to have some of them in the section for Busta. What about Busta Rhymes? I have definitely seen some people who are not too happy with the story I shared about him. But no one has said anything directly to me. I mean, I did not even know who he was at first, but I have seen him around. He has this model look, right? Like, he is this good-looking guy who also does some rapping. His name is Don Benjamin. One night, I was out with Don Benjamin, and we ended up at a club where Busta Rhymes was. I had heard about it back in 2012. I knew about it back then, honestly. So the first thing I noticed was this huge flip mode chain that really stood out to me. I looked at the chain, then I looked up and said, "Oh, what is up, Busta?" I could not believe it. Busta Rhymes out here getting called a super zesty monster. And just to be clear, that is not even me saying it. Those words came straight from his own bodyguard. I have heard you talk about Busta Rhymes before, right? Oh yes, I have seen it in some of your videos. Yes, that is what they called him, a super zesty monster. So now, Busta Rhymes is out here going viral because of what a former bodyguard said. The bodyguard decided to speak up, saying that Busta made some really strange requests when it came to young guys in his VIP section. But trust me, that is just the beginning. Orlando Brown has also been talking, saying that Busta is one of many rappers who supposedly changed him. And now, to make things even crazier, 50 Cent joined in, dropping some hints about Busta's secret lifestyle. On top of that, a lot of other guys are coming forward, sharing their own stories about how Busta supposedly made some strange advances and tried to get them to party with him. But let's be honest for a minute, this is not just about who people are interested in. It is about these down-low guys in the industry who act tough in public but are doing strange things behind the scenes, hurting people because they are too scared to be true to themselves. If you pay attention, there are so many videos out there showing how all of this is happening. Why are people getting mad at the women when they go to these guys? You go to their section in the club and it is all men there. It seems like people in the industry have been looking at Busta Rhymes' actions for a long time, just talking about it behind closed doors. But now, everything is coming out in the open. So, what exactly did Orlando Brown and 50 Cent say about Busta Rhymes? Did he really go too far with young men? Let us get into it and break everything down. Did you know that back in 2006, Busta Rhymes made headlines because of some wild behavior? Busta Rhymes had an incident where he used a homophobic slur towards a male fan. According to the New York Post, the fan walked up, tapped Busta on the shoulder, and just wanted to show some love and congratulate him on his comeback. But instead of accepting the compliment, Busta snapped and went off on him. He then turned to his bodyguard and said, "I hate expletive man." Then, in 2007, Busta was asked about homophobia in the rap world. He made it very clear where he stood. He straight up said that, because of what he represents culturally, he does not support homosexuality at all. Busta Rhymes had an incident where he used a homophobic slur towards a male fan. According to the New York Post, the fan walked up, tapped Busta on the shoulder, and just wanted to show some love and congratulate him on his comeback. But instead of accepting the compliment, Busta snapped and went off on him. He then turned to his bodyguard and said, "I hate expletive man." Then, in 2007, Busta was asked about homophobia in the rap world. He made it very clear where he stood. He straight up said that, because of what he represents culturally, he does not support homosexuality at all. The real problem here is not about Busta possibly being interested in men, but the self-hate, the anger, and the way he is said to treat women and former male workers. That is where the hypocrisy shows. But let us go back to the early 2000s when people first started talking about Busta's preferences. And you know who had the courage to share that information? None other than Wendy Williams. So, what exactly did Wendy say about Busta's so-called secret life? She was the one revealing what she called his homo thug lifestyle. Come from a very homosexual era of pop as well, there was a radio personality. Busta Rhymes supposedly ended up on that infamous list. Yes, you heard it right, Busta Rhymes. There was a time when a man allegedly called into Wendy's show and shared some wild details. He said that Busta punched him in the face right after he got down on his knees for him. But that is not even the craziest part. The caller claimed that Busta told him to keep quiet about what happened. And get this, it is said to have happened at a club in New York City, a popular spot where rappers would show up for these kinds of meetings with gay men, even though Busta supposedly did some pretty major things. Busta Rhymes supposedly used his influence to get that recording removed from the internet. Wendy's longtime fans still remember that episode like it happened just yesterday. And let us not forget, Wendy was not just talking about Busta. She was one of the first people to expose Diddy's rumored secret lifestyle as well, and she even had proof to back it up. But here's where it gets really messy. Word is, when Diddy found out Wendy had a photo of him with another man, he did not like it at all. He allegedly used his power to get her fired from Hot 97 and made sure she was let go. After Wendy posted those pictures of a man pulling his pants down, which looked like something inappropriate was happening, things got even worse for her. The man called and said, "Let me tell you this. When I get back to New York City, if she is still on that radio station." He was talking to the radio executives. "Nobody I work with, nobody I know, is going to do any business with you. No artists, no nothing." He made it clear he wanted to make sure Wendy's career in New York was over. When Wendy Williams got back to New York City, she ended up at a new station in Philly. It really showed how much power that man had. Jaguar Wright recently shared that Wendy Williams was the first person to speak out about Diddy and his group of so-called homo thugs in the industry. Big shout out to Wendy for being the first woman to bring this to light. She called them homo thugs, which was the name used for these down-low men back in the 90s when Wendy first started talking about it. She was referring to Diddy and others. Now, with everything happening to Wendy Williams, do you think it is all connected? Of course it is. They have been waiting for this moment. He was waiting for Kim, remember? The casket was basically ready. Allegedly, this is why Busta Rhymes and Diddy became so close. Some people say they had a lot in common, and some even claim they shared young men between them. Now that Diddy is involved in a federal investigation, Busta is keeping his distance. But let us be honest, they were very close at one time. Busta and Diddy have been tight for years, all the way back to the 90s. There they are, Busta hanging out with Diddy, J-Lo, Aaliyah, Hype Williams, and a whole group of industry folks. Take a look at this picture. Diddy is staring at Busta like he is the main course, no joke. And let us not forget, Busta was still rolling with Diddy and hyping him up as recently as September 2023, just weeks before Cassie dropped that huge bombshell with her lawsuit. Let me finish this. This is just the beginning. Is the father of the joint venture deals, the label deals, the production deals, right? This is the father. I'm going to keep it a bug. I'm big up Dallas Austin because he pulled this all up, but when he did it, it was the complete shifting of the climate. We never seen it before. The same way there's been a lot of greatness after they added to the flaw of the Scott, where he designed the foundation for that SC music. Applause. Applause. Now back to what Jaguar Wright said about Wendy Williams exposing. These so-called homo thugs she ain't just call. They were reportedly living secret lives, and some people say they use threats and even violence to stop anyone from talking about their hidden lifestyles. To be honest, both Diddy and Busta Rhymes have a history of getting into fights, often taking out their anger on people they knew would not fight back, including both men and women. Busta Rhymes' legal problems have been messy for a long time. One of the biggest issues happened in 2006 when he reportedly attacked a man for spitting on his car. Later that same year, the authorities got involved in the case. I know Busta Rhymes pretty well because I have worked with Ghostface Killah before, and when you are around people like him, you hear a lot of things. Also, my aunt is one of his biggest fans. Every time we have a family cookout, she is always playing his music, especially his fast rapping, along with some songs from Craig Mack. It is always a good time. But one night, something really stood out. Busta Rhymes saw actor and model Don Benjamin in the club, hanging out with one of Don's friends, who just so happened to be a gay man. The second Busta saw him, things became very tense. Busta Rhymes did not waste any time. According to someone who saw it, Busta quickly grabbed the guy, pulled him into his VIP section, and made sure he stayed there. The big homie explained that Busta kept the man close, making sure he did not wander off. This was not just a one-time thing. It happened every time Busta went to the club. Everyone who mattered knew what to do. Find the most attractive man in the room and bring him straight to Busta's section. Once Busta Rhymes set his eyes on someone, he would not let go. I remember being out one night with a group of people and Don Benjamin was with us. You might not know him, but he is a model and also does some rapping. So, we were at the club and Busta Rhymes was there too. We also had a lawyer with us, a really cool guy who happened to be gay. He was just a chill and nice person. As soon as Busta saw him, it was clear that he had his full attention. Busta Rhymes wanted that guy in his section so badly. He pulled him right through the ropes and tucked him into a corner. I thought he did not come with us, but I know he is part of the group. When I go out with people, I always try to make sure everyone gets there together and leaves together, but this guy stayed with Busta. He stayed with him for sure. You have never heard of something like this, right? If you're in the mix, like I have been, you know how it works. The big homie even remembered hearing Busta say the guy looked cute. Once Busta had him in his section, he did not let him go. I heard someone say, "Oh, he is cute. I want him." I turned around, thinking, did he just say that? It shocked me. Here is Busta with all his jewelry, and he is choosing a man like that. But sure enough, that was the guy Busta pulled into his section and kept there, almost like he was claiming him. The guy was so shocked and happy, he could not believe what was happening. The big homie has known about Busta's ways for more than 10 years. When he was asked why no one in the industry ever talked about it, he kept it real. People wanted to be in that VIP section with Busta, so they stayed quiet. But the big homie also mentioned something that people do not talk about enough, how Busta allegedly has a long history of snapping at women. According to him, it almost seems like Busta feels some deep jealousy toward women, just for being women. How long has this been happening? I have known about this with Busta Rhymes since 2012. So, why do you think nobody else speaks up about it? The reason is that people look up to these celebrities so much. They want to be in the same places they are, like at the club, on the video shoot, or backstage. Being close to them is what matters most to these people. They care so much about being around these celebrities, it is crazy. But if you pay attention, you will see there are so many videos of Busta Rhymes getting angry at women just for being women. There was even one time when a girl touched him, and he completely lost it. Busta Rhymes went crazy, even throwing a drink on the girl. It makes you wonder, why is he getting so mad at women? You go to these guys in the club, and when you enter their section, it is all men in there. Nobody thinks that is strange? Meanwhile, I am just going to the bar, hoping things do not get out of hand. But with all the security around, nothing is going to happen. Nobody wants to hurt these entertainers for real. When I assess threats, I never see an immediate danger. There is never anyone telling me, this person wants to kill me or hurt me. You might think it is just one bodyguard talking carelessly, but that is not the case. There are actually a whole group of guys who have had their own wild experiences with Busta Rhymes. Back in 2020, a social media user named Trip Ali shared some spicy details on his YouTube channel, claiming Busta tried to holler at him. In 2020, a social media user named Trip Ali shared a story on his YouTube channel about meeting Busta Rhymes in New York City. It was Halloween weekend, and he was walking to a club with his friend who had come in from Detroit. As they were crossing the street, Busta Rhymes grabbed his hand and started shaking it. At first, Trip did not know it was Busta Rhymes because he is so tall. He only realized who it was when he looked up and saw him clearly. The first thing I noticed was this huge flip mode chain that was shining really bright. I kept looking at the chain, and when I looked up, I realized it was Busta Rhymes. I said, "What's up, Busta?" and he kept holding my hand the whole time. I asked him, "What's up, man? What are you doing?" I told him, "Me and my people are about to go to a club around the corner. What's up with you?" That's when I noticed, out of the corner of my eye, this big bodyguard in all black just standing there. He was looking around, and then he looked at me. While Busta was still holding my hand, I saw that he kept looking around. Then, Busta invited me to come into his VIP section at the club. At first, I was really excited, thinking it would just be a normal night of partying. Busta said, "I am about to go into this club and we have a section. You can come with me if you want." I said, "Really? That sounds great." He replied, "Yes." I told him, "I just need to let my people know, but I will come with you." Busta told me, "Just let me know you are coming to meet me and come on up." I said, "Bet." I was really excited because Busta Rhymes is one of my favorite artists. But then things got messy. I got into an argument with my friend, who did not like the idea of me going to Busta's party. The argument got heated quickly, and it turned into a full fight. After that, I was so shaken up that I did not even want to go to the club anymore. To make things worse, my friend just left me and took off, leaving me stranded in the middle of New York City. In a way, though, that might have been a blessing because who knows what would have happened if I had actually gone to Busta's VIP section. Then, in 2021, the rumors started again. Busta was back out, and people said he was trying to pick up men. The paparazzi even caught him leaving a Pride event with a trans woman. But that's not all. Another person came forward with a story, and this time it was Orlando Brown. Yes, you heard that right. He recently said that Busta. Orlando Brown made the internet go wild again when he appeared on camera and shared some shocking stories. He claimed that he had been with a whole group of famous rappers, including Diddy, Busta Rhymes, Drake, Bow Wow, and many others. But here's the twist: Orlando has a past with substance use and some strange behavior. Because of this, people did not take him seriously at first when he started telling these surprising stories. In the music industry, everyone used to laugh off Orlando Brown's stories, thinking it was just another one of his wild rants. But now, with big-name people facing all kinds of crazy accusations, people are starting to make connections. Suddenly, Orlando's stories do not seem so unbelievable anymore. Could it be that he has been trying to warn us about what is really going on in the industry all along? And more importantly, who are the rappers he says took advantage of him? Over the past few years, Orlando has appeared in viral interviews, sharing shocking stories about what he believes are Hollywood rituals. In one of these interviews, he even hinted that there are powerful people hiding in the entertainment world. Out of nowhere, he mentioned Diddy, strongly suggesting that Diddy did something to him. Orlando said, "There are a lot of things that will make you buckle, bro. People have lost their families. People have lost their kids. A lot of things can happen, including life insurance policies being taken out on rappers, mainly because the job is dangerous." Now, I know this is a sensitive subject, but let me give you some insight. You can choose to live a certain way and make money, or you can take a different path. Some people may willingly make certain choices, while others find themselves in tough situations and end up being forced into things they never expected. They end up in trouble and do not know what to do. Back then, people just laughed off Orlando's comments, treating them as part of his usual rants. For a long time, people thought the idea of Diddy possibly being on the down low was just a joke. But now, with all the serious accusations building up against him, the mood is changing. People are starting to wonder if maybe Orlando was not just talking nonsense after all. When the big headlines about Diddy's alleged crimes came out in November, Cam Capone did not waste any time and brought Orlando back for another interview. This time, they talked again about Orlando's comments about Diddy from the year before and even mentioned 50 Cent. One of the wild stories that went viral was about 50 Cent and Diddy. 50 Cent shared a story about a time he was at a party with Diddy. He said he got upset because Diddy offered to take him shopping, and 50 Cent felt like that was something only a woman would be offered. Orlando's reaction to all the talk about Diddy was very interesting. Many people online believe Orlando is mixing some truth with what sounds like nonsense, maybe to protect himself. They think he is using his strange behavior as a shield, while still sharing real information in between the chaos. On the other hand, some people argue that just because Orlando has struggled with mental health, it does not mean his claims should be dismissed. Many still believe that he could be telling the truth. Orlando's struggles might come from the hard experiences he faced in the industry, and all the things he talks about could be his way of coping or even trying to get some justice. Trust me, he is not done sharing his story. Recently, he went viral again, claiming he had been with multiple men in the industry. Not just Diddy, but also Busta Rhymes and a list of other famous people. In a recent conversation, Orlando even mentioned names like Drake, Terrence Howard, and Usher. He joked about Usher being a gusher and also talked about his dad's friends being involved in all of this. Many people tend to brush off Orlando when he makes these claims, but in some recent interviews, where he seems more clear-headed, he has actually made a lot of sense. If you really listen carefully and pay attention to what he is saying, you might start to understand things in a different way. With all the rumors going around about Busta Rhymes, 50 Cent had to get involved and make things even more interesting. 50 Cent, who is getting ready to perform with Busta at the upcoming Humor and Harmony Comedy Festival, decided to post that famous picture of Busta in his bright yellow outfit from the 1999 MTV VMAs, clearly making fun of him. But Busta wasn't going to let that slide. He quickly responded with an AI-generated image of 50 Cent and joked, "I keep telling y'all the blessings don't stop, so we ain't never going to stop." Then Busta kept the jokes rolling, saying, "I thought it was Father's Day, 50 Cent, and you out here looking like this. Don't let me catch you in the mirror getting ready for the report." It seems like both 50 Cent and Busta were just joking around, but fans were not letting Busta off the hook so easily. Many people are saying he needs to stop with the jokes and actually talk about the serious VIP club rumors. One fan commented, "I've heard a lot of stories about Busta, like how he's a Busta snatcher and that he physically mistreats men." Another person added, "I remember a TV show with a gay character dating a clearly down-low rapper, and I wondered, is this about Busta?" Some people even said that this has been known for years, with the most disturbing rumor being that Busta is so filled with self-hate and homophobia that he actually beats up the male escorts he hires. On top of all that, people also said his behavior toward women adds to the pattern. What do you think about all these serious claims about Busta Rhymes? And what do you think about Orlando's story?